And I'm talking here with Elizabeth Planet today. Elizabeth, thanks for joining me. It's great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
I think we're LinkedIn buddies, and a couple of I think weeks now. Feels like it was yesterday, but a couple of weeks ago, you put something out that was the nonprofit Ask Me Anything AI, and I was really curious about that. And I said, "Hey, let's hop on, and I want to hear more about what you're building here." So tell us a little bit about it, and then we're going to show it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So, uh, first of all, I'm not a technical person. So, and this all started when OpenAI started putting out the first Chat GPT, and then started building on that. And I learned by doing. So I just kind of got in there and started playing with it, and immediately thought, it's, in my opinion, it's the nonprofit world that really stands to gain potentially the most from generative AI, because, and I'm particularly thinking about smaller organizations, but, these are places where you have people who have to like wear all the hats. They have to get up to speed very quickly. You're an executive director of a small nonprofit and your HR director just left. And so now you're the head of HR, right? Or you don't have the money for a development director, so you're also the development director. And so, people have to get up to speed quickly. And I immediately thought, these tools can get you there really fast. But my one sort of concern about ChatGPT, and a lot, even, I mean, I use all the tools, is that the sources that they're pulling from, we either don't know what they are, in the case of ChatGPT, or even with something like Perplexity, which I love, which gives you the sources, they're not curated. So like those sources could be anything. So I got the idea to build an AI chatbot that would be only trained on curated sources that were, the kinds of things that people in the nonprofit world rely on, the vetted organizations that are putting out great material. And so that's what I did. I tried to build it myself. Again, I'm not a technical person, so I looked for other solutions, and I've built it on a platform called Custom GPT, which uses the RAG approach, and has
No, I don't know what that is. Tell us about that.
Oh, okay. So it's I think it's called. Hold on, I'm going to look at my notes. It is retrieval augmented something something. Hold on, I'm going to tell you what RAG is. It is. Here we go. Retrieval augmented generation. And so basically, I'm not going to explain it well, but basically what it does is it's only sourcing from the information, the context that you've given it. So it's not, so what it does is it reduces hallucination.
Yes, right.
As a result, my tool is less creative, a little bit less creative than if you just go into ChatGPT, but it's far more reliable.
Yeah.
And so it will tell you if it doesn't know something.
Yes.
So if you ask a question and it hasn't been trained on that specific thing, it'll just say, I don't know. And that's a choice that I made. I mean, I could have it be more creative, but I don't want it to be. I've really favored reliability. And so you can ask it anything about nonprofits. I put my whole it's all publicly available resources. I put in all of the, thousands of PDFs that I have personally that I use when I'm working with nonprofits. I put in sitemaps of, all of the, again, the websites that you think of as like the good, National Council and Bridgespan and Candid, and like all the really good places are in there. SSIR, Stanford, SSIR.
Yeah.
Papers, just the good stuff. And then after it gives you can ask it anything about nonprofits, it gives you a response. And then at the bottom, it shows you the resources that it used to create that response. And then what I have in there is a little text at the top. I really encourage people to then go into those resources, confirm that the information is correct, and do some further reading. The tool is completely free. The only reason I can do that is because the Custom GPT founder likes what I'm doing, and he gave me the highest tier of what he's built for free. And so for as long as that lasts, I can offer this for free.
It's amazing. Okay, I want to show people this
Yeah.
tool. So first of all, here it is. There's a QR code for it. You can go grab that. It's in the comments. And I'll leave that up for a little while. But I asked you the question, and I, just like humans, I like the ones that say, I don't know, when that's the answer. So the first thing I asked it, when you and I were just talking about this, it said, I don't know. So that to me is not a failure. That's like, yes, it's
Yeah.
saying just very concretely it doesn't know. Okay, so I'm going to
And then
ask
what
it.
I do is I have access on the back end to the searches that people are doing. It's de-identified. And when I see people asking questions and I don't have that information in there, um, I do the work and
Yeah,
I'll find good resources and I'll put them in. And so the next time, it'll answer that question.
I love it. I've got a great source for the question I asked, which was, how do you increase a nonprofit's digital maturity? And it said, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, well, I got some stuff. So I
And
love
I'll
it.
put
And
it
I,
in.
I like that you're so open to that. Okay, yeah. Send it your way.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm asking it, how does the board of directors help my nonprofit? Here we go. Um, so it's thinking it's going to throw this in. I also love the fact that you're saying, hey, I'm not a techie. I just care about this. And that is how the nonprofit industry just works. Now, I think that is how the for-profit industry works as well, but that drive and innovation of just saying, hey, I'm going to have to figure this out is so critical. And okay, so here we go. It's great. It's got 5 points so far. And they're exactly what you would want to see from it. It's all laid out, but then this is the juice. That thing at the bottom, this is exactly what we're talking about. So it says, where did this answer come from? And there are two sources. And then it's
And
got
they're clickable.
links. Yeah, it's got links to where you've got that. So Ultimate Nonprofit Startup Guide is one of them. A Nonprofit's Board of Directors PDF is another one. I'm pulling this up, but it's going on the other screen, so y'all can't see it, but it is pulling it up anyway. I think that's amazing. I appreciate the show your work version of ChatGPT or OpenAI or AI or Ask Me Anything. I think that's such a great way to go with it. I'm going to show this. I want to show this one more time. I think people should go in and check this out. I love that you've built this for small nonprofits. I'm for sure going to put this into my digital driver's ed program because this is the kind of thing that they're looking for. Like where do I find that? And a lot of people are building out bots that are similar to this. I think this is a really great tool, though, and I love that you're offering it for free. How's the response been so far?
The response is great. We probably right now are getting about 500 queries a month, and that's without any, like, I don't advertise. I really haven't done that. So this is kind of the beginning of that effort.
Yeah, right.
Um, and
You heard it here first, folks. Right? Like there we go.
this is the
Right.
debut, and it will it it works in about 100 languages, and so people have been prompting in other languages, and it gives. I then go back and translate because I'm curious, and it gives cogent, good responses.
Yeah.
Which means it's actually translating the materials that I put in because the materials I put in are in the English language. So it's kind of amazing.
That is so wild, right?
Yeah, it's really, but the idea is like I consult to nonprofits. This is what I do all day. They ask me all kinds of questions, but they don't have to pay me all like for every question they have. I like the idea that they can just go in self-serve, and it's a jumping off point, right? You're not going to get everything you need, but you're going to get the beginnings. I see a lot of people on the back end are using it for drafting.
Yeah.
Redrafting. I mean, that's a very popular use.
Yep.
But my vision is that it's really for asking those questions, that come up all day long in a nonprofit. And it's not replacing your lawyer and it's not replacing your accountant. But what it's doing is it's getting you unstuck enough that you can kind of take the next step and get on with your day, because I know how paralyzing that can be.
Yeah, it's so interesting you're saying that. So I say that there's a really strong surface tension around asking those questions, right? And so just getting the question like from your brain into actual like language that that is its own step. And as an ADD person, I am constantly struggling with that. And so I think that is, its own benefit and really amazing. The other thing I see here that's really interesting is your idea of these little questions. So I call them lowercase questions and uppercase questions, right? Or lowercase problems and uppercase problems in technology. And there's this mythology in technology that you want to, like, that all the lowercase issues, the little piddly things that are frustrating or whatever, those are band-aids. And it's not worth solving those until you solve your uppercase issues, right? But only 3% of a book is uppercase letters. The rest of the 97% are lowercase letters. And that ratio is about the same when it comes to tech issues. And I'm guessing in your world as well, right? And
Yeah.
so if people wait, you can't read a book on uppercase letters, but you can actually read a whole book on lowercase letters alone. You can make it out. And that's my point is
Yeah.
don't wait. Don't wait to solve those big uppercase issues. And especially like if you think of those as paper cuts, if you're bleeding out from a lot of paper cuts, what you need is bandages, right? That's what you actually need. And so I am 100% with you, helping people to solve the issues that they have and to clarify, just to define your confusion, I think is such a valuable thing. So
Yeah.
I love what you're doing here. I think it's
Thank
really
you.
innovative.
And the part I'm really most passionate about is that the sources have been curated. And I really think
Yes.
that's kind of the future of AI. I mean, GPTs are fun. I've built a bunch of them. They're super fun, but the sources are unknown and uncurated.
Yep.
And I feel like the nonprofit world really deserves more like a higher quality kind of treatment. And so this is, again, I'm using a paid service that they've donated to me, and so I'm able to, provide it for free. And I think that's the next step is for me to figure out like how do I get this off of a paid service and onto something, where I can ensure that it's always free because I think again, I use ChatGPT, I use all the tools. I think they're really fun, but I can't rely on them.
Yeah, not entirely.
Of the sources, being completely unknown.
Right. Yeah. And uncredited. I think that's actually
and stolen.
also
Stolen, I think is the word you're looking for.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's great. Elizabeth, thank you so much for making this for the nonprofit world, for offering it. I know that I can't wait to have Nathan Chappelle take a look at this, and David Norris and a lot of the others that are out there working on similar things. I'd love for them to know about this so that they can write this into the stuff that they're doing and people can go and check this out. So thank you so much for doing that. Really excited about what's next. And thanks for following me on LinkedIn. It's so fun to see what you're up to. It's great to do that work with you. If you're not following me on LinkedIn, I'm just going to put this out there. Would love to have you do that. Here's my QR code. And then the last thing I'm going to say is I'm putting on another 60 Minutes to Simple workshop that is focused on exactly, Elizabeth, what we were talking about, is focused on how you ask questions in a way that gets you those lowercase issues so that you can do something about it. So this is entirely free. It's on December 12th. The recording will be available after that if people aren't able to attend it. But this is kind of my answer to a lot of what you're talking about, Elizabeth. Here is a way to start moving forward on some of those lowercase issues. So we'd love to have anybody join that. And Elizabeth, thanks so much for joining today. Really appreciate you coming.
Thanks so much for the platform.